today's video, we have two 1980s performance icons, the Chevrolet C4 Corvette and the BMW M6, and we're going to find out simply which one is the better performer.
To gauge the performance of these 1980s performance icons, we are going to do a series of tests. We're going to first do a quarter-mile drag race. Then we're going to do a roll race between the two cars, and we're even going to do a braking test to see how these two cars slow back down. But to gauge how 1980s performance icons stack up against something modern, we have an affordable performance car in the Hyundai Elantra N. Under the world's biggest hood in the C4 Corvette sits the L98 5.7-liter small block Chevy V8. This engine makes 245 horsepower and 340 pound-feet of torque, and it's matched up to a 4-speed manual transmission. So this is good old-school American muscle.
This is the E24 generation of the BMW 6 Series, and under the hood of the M6, you'll find the S38 3.5-liter inline 6. It makes 256 horsepower and just over 240 pound-feet of torque. You can see it has 6 individual throttle bodies fed by an aluminum plenum. Now, this was essentially a race engine. This engine was developed from the BMW M1 supercar. It made its way into the 635 CSI race cars from the Touring Car Championships of the 1980s, and it's made it to a 5-speed manual. So Case, we're lined up here about to do the quarter-mile test. Now, we are running this test at about a mile above sea level, so that certainly is going to affect performance on these NA vehicles. But what's your Corvette weigh?
It's a little over 3,000 pounds, about 3,200.
Yeah, and this BMW M6 is mid-3000s, like 3,500, 3,600, so it's certainly a heavier vehicle.
But I do have a little bit more horsepower, although a lot less torque. What's your torque number on that car again?
340, but don't mind your deficit of cylinders or all the extra weight.
Yeah.
You want me to tell you why you're going to lose this race?
Okay.
It's because I have flip-up headlights and you don't, so you are very unaerodynamic.
That's true, but I have a little aero blocker here in my windshield wiper, which certainly is going to help out.
That is going to make a big difference. All right, should we do this?
Come on, Micah. You got this. Come on, BMW. Oh, good launch of the BMW. Better than the Corvette.
Oh, wheel spin. Tons and tons of wheel spin. Come on. Grip!
Oh, 6,000 RPM. Case is really going to have to come back.
I'm gaining on him.
These M engines, they pull hard over 5,000 RPM. Come on, car. It's close.
I had such a bad launch. That was terrible. But I am pulling right away.
Oh, he's taking me though. All the way up to red line. Into 4th gear. Right around 95, 100 miles an hour. That's what was indicated. Or 86 miles an hour. That was a 16.82 at 86. Oh, Case. Now that was a lot of fun.
16.37 at 92, not lightning fast. Oh my god, I had such a bad launch. I was spinning tires forever.
Well, that's the thing about that V8, right? I mean, we're up here in Colorado. It's like 25 degrees Fahrenheit outside, so getting traction on these old tires is pretty tricky. And this M car launches pretty hard.
Yeah, you had a really good launch, and it's a good bit colder out here than it was the last time we raced this, so my torque was doing a lot more spinning than it was last time. But my quarter mile time, 16.37, so worse than the last runs that we've done. But what was yours?
Well, not that much worse. Your best is like 16.25. We're right on it. I ran a 16.82 at 86 miles an hour. Yeah, that was fantastic. So I got off the line better, and I had you right right through second gear, but then that torque of that V8 came through at the higher speeds.
Yeah, it pulled right away, and my trap speed was just over 92 miles per hour. So yeah, Corvette quicker from a dig, but let's see about the roll race. I feel good about that.
Here's the thing Case is forgetting about M cars from the 80s and today is that these cars were designed to cruise at extremely high speeds for long periods of time. So rolling races should be right up this thing's alley. What the heck is wrong with your horn? You want to hear a German horn? Now that's a horn.
Sounds like a very normal, boring, average horn.
That's because it works. It's German engineering versus your car, which is made in Kentucky. The pinnacle of engineering coming straight out of Bowling Green.
Big time. Now, for this rolling race, what are we thinking in terms of launch speed? 60 kph as usual?
Yeah, so this M6 is actually a Canadian market car, so the speedometer is in kilometers an hour. So let's do 60. I'll go 3, 2, 1, go. We'll both be in second gear, and then you're about to see the might of Bavarian muscle.
Yes, and as always, I can match you on kph because my very sophisticated Corvette is able to, at whim, switch between metric and burger units, so I have no problem pulling up 60 kph on my dash.
Aren't you a little worried about this because you have a 4-speed manual, just 4 gears?
That's fewer shifts to slow me down. I have the torque to push through long gearing.
And you have 3 overdrives, so you kind of have a 7-speed.
Yeah, in theory, but unfortunately it doesn't really drive that way.
Alrighty, ready? Alright, let's go. Launching. In a second. Alright, I'm at 60. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, this thing got off the line hard. And we're right in the power band.
Okay, so I started out in third, which might have been a mistake.
Oh, come on, BMW!
But I'm still pulling right away from it.
These M cars, they pull so hard. They're 140 kilometers an hour. And across the line. Okay, you won that Case. Kudos for winning that. But let's just point out that this car is 100 pound-feet down in the torque department and 400 pounds up, and I'm still right on your bumper.
Yeah, although I will say I started that race out in third, at the bottom of third instead of at the top of second, so it was kind of slow to get going there at the bottom of the rev range, but I did pretty much that entire race except for maybe the last 30-40 feet in third gear.
Man, that 5.7, even the L98, which granted is not the greatest engine you can get in the C4 Corvette, those 5.7s are just such underrated engines.
Yeah, I mean, with that much torque, you can get away with a lot. And I think there's a good old school statement that you advertise horsepower, but you drive torque.
All right, dude, so you definitively won that. You took me on the drag race and you took me on the rolling race. I think it's time to race a Hyundai 4-cylinder against the mighty Corvette. Let's see what happens.
Are we doing a braking test?
Oh, shit, you're right, braking test. The interior of the E24 6 Series certainly represents what this car is, which is the ultimate touring car. So you have 4 seats, but everything is covered in this beautiful 1980s German leather, and you've got a ton of luxury features in here, including heated seats, power seats across everything. This vehicle is very luxurious for the time, and the interior is held up really, really well. And my favorite feature is the integrated warning computer here on the left side of the steering wheel.
Inside of the C4 Corvette, you get an interior that is not well constructed maybe, but it is far more high-tech and far more high performance than the interior that you get on the M6, because I have a radical set of digital gauges. I also have a 2-seater, as any true performance car would be. No rear seats, just you and 1 passenger, and you also do get an obnoxious amount of seat controls. They're all power operated, but they aren't heated, I will admit.
All right, Tommy, so so let's get rolling here for our braking test. I am going to clock us at 60 miles per hour because, of course, my car is versatile and it can do both. All right, we are at 60, approaching the cone.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Now that was a close result. So you have much wider tires, right? You're rolling on 285s. I'm rolling on 245s, is that correct?
Yeah, I have a 255 in the front, 285 in the rear. But yeah, my tires are a lot wider, probably also older, but that was very close.
Well, considering this car is 400 pounds heavier, and I'm rolling on much skinnier tires, 245s, so it's pretty good. Let's get the measuring tape of truth out and we'll see what we did. That was actually really impressive. 107 feet and 2 inches from 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's pretty
darn
old
good.
car.
Let's see how the Beamer compares. All right, Case, 113 feet and 1 inch in the BMW. So about 5 feet difference.
Yeah, just
no,
a
6
couple,
feet.
couple feet between them, which is pretty good because like the 944, for example, that we tested, there was a massive difference between the stopping distance. This is decently close.
Well, you know what the difference between this and 944 was?
ABS.
ABS. Yeah, ABS is a huge lifesaver out here. Huge! Alright, Case, let's talk about new MSRPs for a second. So that BMW M6 was $56,000 brand new in 1987, and that translates to over 146 grand in today's money. It was the most expensive BMW they made. Now, how expensive was that Corvette in 1988?
My Corvette was just a little bit over $30,000 when it was brand new, which is similar actually in price to what that Elantra cost brand new today.
Exactly right. The difference is, if you calculate for inflation, that translates to like $80,000, $78,000 brand new in 88. And this Elantra comes in at just a tick under 35 grand. Now I have a 276 horsepower, 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with front wheel drive and a dual clutch. So I've got like, what, a third of a displacement? You should take me easily.
Oh, dual clutch. That's a word that's ringing in my head. Also the fact that your engine is sitting over the tires being driven, and your tires and your whole car is a lot newer than my tires or any part of this car. So it'll be a good race.
All right, well, I think you're pretty nervous.
Rightfully so. Let's see how the little Hyundai stacks up to the might of 1980s General Motors.
Launch control active. A lot of wheel spin in first gear.
Better launch.
Wheel spin in second gear.
No!
And then it hooks up in third. End grid shift engaged. That's maximum power.
Oh my god, he's pulling away from me in a big way.
That Corvette is gone. Completely gone. And he's not catching up. Oh, jeez. Well, I just ran a 15.34 and 103. And it was all wheel spin in the first 2 gears.
That was a convincing win for the Hyundai.
Now, just for curiosity, we've proven that the Elantra is a lot quicker than the Chevrolet. Because everyone's going to comment on it, I would like to try to do one more quarter mile, just the Hyundai, to see if I can get it to launch a little better. Launch control is a lot of fun, but when it's cold outside and the tires are cold, it led to a lot of wheel spin. Let's try this again now. The tires should be nice and warmed up. I'm not going to use launch control this time. I'm going to go into N mode, which I was in before. ESC and Sport, I'm going to roll into first gear, and then once I get traction, plant it, end grid and shift button for that extra overboost functionality, and we'll see what happens. So I'm in drive. This dual clutch is in its quickest setting, same with the engine, the steering, and the suspension. So I'm just going to roll into it here. There we go. Much better launch. Man, this transmission absolutely rips gears. That is just insane. It's like a little baby M3. There's 11 seconds. Come on, car. You got this. You got this. That was better. 14.76 in the quarter. And let's see, that was 105 miles an hour. Now, of course, altitude still does affect turbo cars, just not to the same crazy way it does to NA cars. But 14.76 up here is insanely quick. Really, really impressive out of this Hyundai sedan. Pretty crazy to think about.
So right now, Tommy is doing a braking test in the Elantra to see how far stopping distance has come in the last 30 years. Now let's measure it. So it's almost exactly 110. So it's in between the two.
Is it?
Right? Because I was like
107?
Yeah, and you were 113?
Oh, I think you're right. Wow! Your Corvette outbroke a Hyundai Elantra N!
Outbraked. Because outbroke, I think, would be it failing.
Oh, yeah.
And like braking, right?
Yeah, that's true. It
We
outbraked.
don't want it. Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
true. Well, a truly amazing day out here at the Airstrip comparing these two 1980s icons. Now, the M6 performed well, but value-wise, these cars are pretty far apart. We just paid $41,000 for this M6, which is 4 times the price that Case paid for that C4.
Yeah, like we keep saying in these drag races, for 10 grand, the Corvette is a lot of bang for the buck. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this car has performed against all the other 80s icons that we stacked it up against.
It's pretty amazing. However, big shout out to Hyundai with that Elantra, and to think that Hyundai, if you had gone back to like the late 80s, Hyundai was building some of the worst cars in the history of the world, and now they just built a small, relatively affordable sedan that demolished a Corvette.
Yeah, it's actually really quick, and for a 4-cylinder, sounds good.
Sounds good. Well, guys, let us know what you think in the comments section below. As always, this has been Tommy.
And Case.
We'll see you on another episode of TFL Classics.